Welcome, dreamers. Happy Friday. Hope everyone that went Black Friday shopping got some, some good stuff. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at some player builds. Another player builds video is gonna be today's video. Before we get into that, as usual, a reminder that DreamWorld is currently available to play and purchase in early access. If you go down to the description of this video, you'll find a link to DreamWorld's website. There you can find a free trial for DreamWorld to play before you buy the game, and if you like what you play in the trial, feel free to get the game. But player builds, so today we're gonna be taking a look at a few smaller scale builds and one big build that honestly, to me, is a masterclass in building in DreamWorld. So without further ado, let's get right to checking out some player builds, again, in DreamWorld. Real quick before we start, I just want to point out a new update that has just dropped, where some of the textures in DreamWorld have been updated and have new looks. So if you've played the game before and haven't actually got to play this week, feel free to hop in game because you're going to see some new textures, such as this oak wood and even the flint on my base look different. There's also new door animations, they've been updated as well, so feel free to take a look at this. Let's head to the Island of Elysium, though, to see our first build. This is a collection of huts that I found to be particularly interesting in the sense of their lighting design. Our first hut here is almost a little igloo of some sorts. This is comprised mainly of shape assets and even has a little hand on the top. We'll get to that, but very similar to the igloo that I built in the tundra, except made with building pieces. Inside we have a small area with some windows and even an open doorway, and up top of the build we have a hand, which looks rather meaty. This simple purple torch out front is what really drew me to the build, especially finding it at nighttime. It casts a nice light on the exterior of the buildings. One simple torch can go a long way. And even a few lights inside, these candy corn lamps is what I'll call them because they're made of candy corn. Even they create some good lighting inside the build. You can especially see how they seep through the floor up here and create some good mood lighting on the second floor. Heading over to the main building, though, we see this is Ooga Booga's build. I'll make sure to light the reliquary here to get some dream essence. And now we'll check out the interior of this. We have a nice bedroom upstairs. And downstairs, it's, a simple build, but there's a lot of room for decoration of the interior and a good, foundation of the build. And not too far away from that build, we also have this triangle altar of some sort. It's nothing too large scale, I just thought it'd be interesting to take a look at. Here there's just default cylindrical staircase pieces all put together around like this triangle piece that is actually, I think, used with smelted green crystals as the resource that made that. This just goes to show how a little bit can go a long way when you're mixing and matching resources and building assets. Next, let's head to the desert biome where we see this long railway looking build. What this most resembles to me is a monorail, so let's check it out. We head into Red Rock Station, made by what looks like Gigabear. We can see that there's this long tunnel, it starts in the back here, and then we move forward and we can actually use little teleport portals to move even faster throughout the tunnel. And this is going to bring us all the way down to the end where we actually have the red rock itself. It may not be finished, but here you can actually mine into the earth and even mine through this plateau and then probably get to the other side where there might even be some more railing. It looks like still a work in progress, but I think this is a really cool idea to, possibly flesh out into racetracks and even highways in DreamWorld. It's just a build idea that, we should all probably take note of. And right next door to it, we have this Thanksgiving turkey build. I knew since the Thanksgiving holiday, just passed by the way, happy Thanksgiving for those that celebrated it, that there would be some turkey builds here. We have a head statue asset combined with several other different things, such as some stockings on the bottom of the turkey, some buttons on the body, and even a little top hat up top, as if turkeys wear top hats. I guess they could. Very, very simple little statue, but yeah, this is one of the ways you can make Thanksgiving turkeys, in holiday themed builds in the game. The many different assets allow for lots of creativity, I will say that. Next, let's take a look at this little enclosure on the side of this mountain. I really want to look at this because it uses this special type of fencing that we haven't really seen before in videos. And it also goes to show how you can, make very simple mining bases built right into a cave. We have this nice space here where you can come in and mine crystals. This is just another build idea that I wanted to take a look at. Not a super complex build, but just something, to keep in mind. And these special fence pieces I really like them. I'm gonna be looking far and wide to get these building asset scrolls for these. And for our next build, we have Tarnatok's Baba Yaga's Fried Chicken Hut build, which very cleverly looks really cool. Has the legs of a chicken built into the bottom of the hut, and then the actual hut itself looks very unique. We have a sign out front that specifically says, "Welcome to Baba Yaga's Fried Chicken Hut. We'll be happy to eat you." Well, that's not sinister at all. If we do go inside the build, though, we see a very tacky, treehouse look to the base. Very, very high attention to detail. I love this little crystalline, carpet area in the front here in the center of the room. And then the actual witch herself is very well constructed. Looks really good. And notice how everything in this room just has a perfect placement. It's almost like all the interior assets fit perfectly, and I just love the tacky treehouse look of the wood and the walls and even the resource textures. Moving over here, we have a little potion area. I think it looks really, really good. Again, all the assets in here have just been placed so purposefully, and everything fits super well at the right angles and the right positions. Very, very good attention to detail with this building. And as we move up the stairs, we come to this little loft area, and the roof looks like it has some scale texture to it. Not much up here, just a loft with a bed. The witch has got to sleep somewhere, I guess. And that's the fried chicken hut. Really good work here. That brings us to our next build, which is going to be the biggest build of today. This one really impressed me. This is Jack's Dockyard and Hall build in the mountain. This to me is a masterclass of building. Wait till we get into the actual build and start looking at all the minute details. Everything is placed perfectly. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, we have this nice walkway with these long pillars and arches, a nice towering architectural display for when you arrive at the dock. We see a ship already at the dockyard, some braziers on top of these pillars right here. And then in the middle of the dockyard, we have a little potion vendor, a couple other vendor areas, and we also have lots of different things like wheelbarrows, barrels by the ship, a lot of boxes. It seems like this is a very active dockyard. Let's also make sure to light this reliquary to claim our dream essence. Now going onto the ship, we have a cylindrical door as the ramp going up. Very, very clever. And we see these amazing masks that have been really well constructed. They look actually just like sailing masks. And even the different tight ropes have been put onto the ship. The angles and everything being placed. Everything is so precise and very well constructed. If I didn't know any better, I would think that this was an actual ship you could build in the game that you could sail. Moving below deck, we see, it's pretty open down here, but we have a little storage area, the cargo area, which looks like even a little net has been put over the cargo. That's really creative. I'd love to know how that was done. And then in the back here, we have the actual captain or crew's quarters, just a small part in the cargo area. If we move up the stairs, though, we see this massive staircase with these towering statues. This is a very big architectural display. It makes me very excited to get into this actual hall of the mountain. Going into the mountain hall, we see this massive cavern, you know, enlarged building assets. The sizes of the building assets have been upped and shrinked. Everything is on a large scale here, and there's 3 different halls. We're gonna try them all out, but first, let's go about checking out this center reliquary. Okay, moving into the first hall, we get something right out of Game of Thrones. Like, this is really cool looking. We got little rings and the fiery lighting that's been placed in here. Everything glimmers off the end of the building assets around it perfectly. This hall is great to look at. Many different architectural designs. You know, we have the rings here and other stuff. Like, you'll see this distillery area, it kind of looks like. Maybe potions are brewed or other scientific things, or even just drinks are made. And then coming over here, we get a little scholarly area. It's almost like potion stands and like a library almost. I think of it as a library when I see it. Or even just a place where wizards and scholars would study and practice things. From the stone floors to the polished gold walkways to the different lights put on the tables, everything is so purposeful. And even the bookshelf is incredibly well made. This bookshelf, I wonder how much time went into just this bookshelf. This is a really good bookshelf. If you look at the actual tables, even the stuff on the tables is very precisely put down. Everything is spaced out great. It just looks so complete. As we go into the second hall that's actually across from this one, we're gonna see that it's very open. It hasn't really been used that much, and it doesn't really store much right now. I'm assuming this build actually isn't even done yet, which gets me very excited to see it when it's completely filled out, but I'm excited to see what's gonna happen in this area. We have a big hall down here, a staircase going up to a second floor, which I'm assuming is gonna lead to a higher part of the hall. However, when I went up here, there was a door that was closed, so I couldn't access this part from the bottom. We might be able to find a way up later, though. Now, moving into the hallway in the back, we see a massive towering space with these pillars, you know, lighting all the way at the top. The lighting is perfectly placed to get you just enough sights around the hall. My favorite lighting, by the way, are these fire braziers that are placed on both sides of the hall. I love the fiery light that's, you know, peeking out on the sides here. Even like the torches towards the center. But I do have to say that these fiery braziers are probably my favorite lighting asset, at least for the exterior stuff. Now, if we come to the back part of this area, we can see what looks like almost a throne area, but it's very cleverly made. It's not a classic throne. It's a very decorative throne that's, you know, it seems like one of those thrones that would be picked up as, you know, servants carry, you know, the king or the queen or one of those things. I had lots of fun exploring this build. It's really, really awesome. So many different things happening. Everything works perfectly together. I'm excited to see this when it is completely done. And there's even room behind that throne area that still has caves in it that could actually lead to maybe more expansion on this build in the future. Overall though, Jack's Hall and Dockyard is incredible. Very well done. One of the best builds I've seen in DreamWorld so far. Now for our last build, we're gonna actually be looking at a very unique build. I've never really seen one like this before. It looks like a giant flashlight. We see the sign that says do not approach, so naturally we're gonna approach it. And then we see another sign that tells us to keep away 100 feet. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're going right in. As we get into the actual flashlight, we see that it is, unfortunately, an SCP, meaning we probably should not have come in here, but for the sake of science and exploration, we're gonna do it. We even see this cool little orb that lights up with lights as you get closer to it. Not sure how this was done, but I love it. We get a massive interior for this. I'm gonna call it a flashlight. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's super cool. It looks just like an actual device you'd see in real life. You know, the assets and the textures and the resources are all perfectly picked here. And there's multiple entrances into the flashlight as well, the back, the side here. I can even get on this little platform on the side of it and take a look from the side, you know, looking back far. It looks pretty freaking cool. We even have a little pulley and lever system with a power button over here that has different settings you can flicker through. This is really amazing, the creativity here, how Gigabear was able to do the different switches. Oh my gosh, 10 out of 10 from me. And we even have this handle here, which could be, you know, picked up by, I'm assuming, a giant. But there you have it. Those are today's player builds that you will find in DreamWorld. Really good job to all these builders. We got some incredible big scale projects as well as some smaller scale project ideas that you can, you know, build in the game right now yourself. Good job to everybody. Stay tuned in the future for more videos like this one. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to see future content. Remember to go check out the description if you want a link to DreamWorld's website to get the free trial or even purchase the game for yourself. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye bye, dreamers. Have a great night.